Titans Ed here, back to doing another video review. This time, I'm going to be reviewing Transformers Combiner Wars Starscream. Ah, yes. Finally got my hands on this. Now, I've had the Combiner Wars Skywarp for a few weeks now, but I wanted to wait to try to get to do the Starscream one first. And no, I don't have the Thundercracker one at all. To tell you the truth, I'm not a big fan of Thundercracker, and I was just waiting for him to fall into a very good sale to go ahead and pick him up. But, yes, this is Starscream. Not a bad figure. Not at all. It is a remold of the Thrilling 30s Generations Jetfire. So, there are a ton of similarities, but they did remold a few pieces. Now, I will say this. If they were going to go so far as to remold key sections of Jetfire's body to make this into a Seeker mold, I really wish they would have taken the plastic contents of the leg blaster armor, the wrist blaster armor, and the gun, and used it to make parts that made the Seeker blasters better. It is the one complaint I really have with these leader class figures, where I think I would have preferred if they made some Voyager class Starscream, Voyager class Seeker mold that was a torso combiner for Combiner Wars, because that's the only downfall. That's the only thing that kind of throws me off about this, is, you know, you have all these extra guns that were meant for an entirely different figure that don't fit on here the same way as well, and they're useless. Now, granted, currently this gun is normally going to be sitting on my 6-shot, my G1 6-shot, because apparently it has 5mm pegs, and, well, he needs some guns. He also does come with his Starscream crown, which is very nice. I'll show that off on his head in a little bit. The only other thing is, I also wish they kind of remolded the back plate here that holds all the fins. He still has the clips for Jetfire's booster pack. So, but he also still has the opening cockpit, which is nice. Yeah, I like them. I like the figure, don't get me wrong. I just found it very annoying on all of the... They changed so much for the robot mode, but changed so little for the vehicle mode. He does also have a fold-out landing gear, which is nice. Now, I don't know if I've talked about G1 Starscream before, but I am going to talk about him again. So, sorry to anybody who thinks I'm repeating myself. Starscream, depending on the fiction, was once the air commander for Cybertron itself, but was disgraced by something. I can't figure out what that was. It's probably in some book somewhere, and I just haven't read it on TF Wiki yet. But he was the air commander for Cybertron. Due to this disgrace, got very disgruntled with Cybertron and decided to join Megatron when he started his rebellion against the High Council. Immediately after that, Starscream started to show that he wanted more power than Megatron was giving him. Immediately making him rather auspiciously giving him his usual way of, you know, becoming the betrayer he's known as being. Somehow, throughout the entirety of the Great Wars on Cybertron, no one ever killed Starscream. He managed to make it to Earth. And funny enough, during the G1 cartoons, it's thanks to Starscream that the Autobots actually wake back up. Starscream's shooting at the Ark before they leave to make new resources on Cybertron, and Starscream's just firing away at the Ark, making rubble fall down. Megatron's telling him to stop. He says, "I'm making my final farewells." And his last shot happens to actually activate Optimus Prime, and wakes up all of the Autobots. So Megatron can thank Starscream for all of his woes on Earth, thanks to Starscream. Throughout all Generation 1, Starscream makes multiple attempts in the first 2 seasons to take power from Megatron to become the leader of the Decepticons. Fails multiple times. He'd eventually get his chance during the Transformers movie after Megatron is mortally wounded. kicks Megatron off Astro Train, and takes over Cybertron, getting this rather nice crown, as well as a cape and some new shoulder pauldrons. Shoulder pads? Shoulder pauldrons? I'm not sure what you call those. But yeah. Galvatron then rolls up like a boss, mocks Starscream, and then destroys him by blasting him with his laser, and he disintegrates. Although his spark does not die. Turns out his spark is rather indestructible, and is strong enough to become what is known as the Ghost of Starscream, which then can inhabit other Transformers and possess them. He would stay actually like this for a fair bit of time, until the age of Beast Wars, which somehow, if you're going by Beast Wars logic, somehow Starscream's ghost, in the future, somehow found its way into the past to possess Waspinator. Hence why the Generations 2-pack Legion Starscream has Waspinator as a gun. It's sort of an homage to that Beast Wars episode where Starscream shows up and possesses Waspinator. I have no idea how he ends up in the past on Beast Wars and then possesses a Transformer that is completely different technology from what he's used to, but there you go. And he also does it once again in the Kiss Players manga. If you don't know what Kiss Players is, don't go look it up. It's wrong. It's just wrong. It's wrong in so many ways. But yes, this is Starscream's robot mode. It's based on his IDW appearance. And it's okay. It is missing the his little intakes here. I've seen third-party companies make stuff specifically for this mold to put there, so you have his intakes. Like, they just slip right into the little gaps right around his head. But yeah. Yeah, you could put the leg armor on, and if I move these, I could put these on, but it's kind of pointless, just the same as the gun. It's kind of pointless. Starscream just needs these, and I really wish the guys at Hasbro, and I realize they have a limited budget for making these, but I really wish they would have taken the time, if nothing else, to have remolded this part so you could have the gun sit up here rather than here. You know, sacrifice all the plastic bits of this, and of that, so it isn't sitting on his lower arm, because it's so awkward to pose. I mean, doing straight-on poses is fine, but the minute you bend that arm, the illusion of what it's supposed to be like in Generation 1 is completely lost. I don't know if someone's making any upgrade sets for this particular mold yet. That might be a good idea for an up-and-coming third-party maker to make a upgrade set so you could have a Starscream, either just a weapon pack that attaches to here, or a brand new arm that looks a little bit more Starscreamish, I guess. But yeah, I do like this mold. I do like this figure. I do recommend grabbing him if you can. Him, Skywarp, Thundercracker if you like him. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of Thundercracker, so I usually pick him up last, unless they make it the second version to come out, which is always a pain in my butt. But yeah, I don't know why they started with Thundercracker first, then moved to the Starscream, and then Skywarp. But oh well. But yeah, it's a good figure if you can pick it up. I don't recommend paying up full price. I try to aim for somewhere between 15 to 20% off retail price, which is about $45 to $49. I luckily was at a Target, and it was at a relatively decent price, and I managed to get it at an even cheaper price thanks to price matching. But yeah. If the only other complaint I would say is I kind of wish this part they could have given you could have changed something up so this could fold down all the way, and you'd at least have a little bit more of the Seeker silhouette with just these. You can kind of cheats it, but yeah, you gotta fold it like that, and that's just... I'm sure there's a part I could shave away that could allow me to fold this all the way up, but the thrusters would probably get in the way of the cockpit and such, so you're kind of stuck with it looking like this. Oh well, what you gonna do? But still, I think this is a pretty cool figure. Again, try to get it not at full price. Try to get it at a discounted price if you can. But until next time, this is Titan Zed saying I'll see ya when I see ya.